Hi everybody, it's Miss Marie, and this week on our Tales and Tales story time, we are going to be learning about animals at night. Our first book will be Night Animals by Gianna Marino, and our second book will be Little Owl's Night by Divya Srinivasan. And we're also going to be learning the Sleeping Bag Chant, which we've done in story time before. So come along with me as we learn about what animals get up to at night and which animals are awake at night. That's the scientific word for that is nocturnal animals. We're going to be learning about those at our Tales and Tales Animals at Night story time. All right, so our first storybook this week for our night animals or animals at night, Tales and Tales Animals at Night, is called simply Night Animals, and it's by Gianna Marino. I believe she does the illustrations as well. Yes. And it's just a really fun one. In fact, we based our craft this week on that. If you didn't pick it up yet, please call the library. Maybe we have some extras left. If you see the end papers, it's dark, except for some eyes. I see 1, 2, 3 sets of eyes. And they're in different locations. One's very tall, one's in the middle, one's very short, close to the ground. So let's see. Night Animals. And we see some animals that come out at night. Skunk and a possum. And this book is published by Viking. Hey, possum, what are you doing in there? Shh, I'm hiding. You see how they have the quote bubbles like a comic book? That's fun too, I like that. Why is he hiding? He goes, shh, I'm hiding. Oh, so Skunk goes in with him. What are we hiding from? Night animals. Now keep quiet. Oh, I think he's making mad eyes at him because he's being too noisy. Uh-oh, inside. It's a little tight. Can you move over? Let's find somewhere else. Yeah, it's a little tight in that tree there, so I have to find somewhere else to hide from the night animals. Arroo! Did you hear something? Are you trying to scare me? What's making the arroo sound in the woods? Help me, arroo! Help you? You're a wolf. Who's the wolf running from? Well, he was the one making the noise. Arroo, that's him. But something is following me. Do you see those eyes in the woods? What is it? Asks the skunk. Oh no, and the possum is playing possum. Means he's lying down and pretending he's not alive anymore. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Who's chasing the wolf? It's big and hairy with long, sharp claws. I'm not here, says the possum. He's just still laying there pretending he's not there. And what's that chasing them? What does that shape look like? It's a bear. You guys gotta help me. Something huge is coming. What can be bigger than a bear? Why is the sky getting darker? Oh my goodness. Who's coming after them? They better hide, right? Let's see. Night animal, run! Hide! They're just gonna drag the possum with them because he's still laying there, playing dead. Oh my goodness. Where are they hiding? What are they hiding from? Stop! Says this shadowy figure up here. Who's that figure? Who's that? It's a bat. What are you so scared of? We're scared of night animals. I see the bat hanging there upside down, asking, what are you so scared of? But you are night animals, says the bat. Now you can see him better because there's the moon right behind him. He says, you are night animals. What? Oh, did you hear something? Oh, no. Who's saying that? Did you hear something? Somebody in this tent here. This green tent. And the animals will go, oh. Click. Somebody's got the flashlight on the night animals. And they're all kind of scared looking. And there's people inside that tent. Run! Run! The animals yell, run! Yell the people. And the flashlight has been dropped. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What was that sound? And it looks like Possum is going to faint down again because he's scared again. And that is the end. And there's Possum fainted down because he's frightened and that's how he protects himself. Oh my goodness. And I see more eyes hiding again in the woods on a dark night. The night animals come out. And that was a really fun story. I really love that. I especially love the flashlight, lighting them up in the night so you can see them. Well, in that story, the last animal to come out for the night was the owl. I don't know, maybe if I go back you can see him. I thought I saw his shadow before you went. Hoo hoo. Yes, I did. See up here in the tree you see the shadow of the owl. And then he says hoo 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 and scares off the other animals. This book is all about an owl. And they were birds that come out at night. Little Owl's Night by Divya Srinivasan. And I believe she does the illustrations as well, which are super adorable. And it just says, little owl sat on his branch. How he loved the night forest. Frog croaked softly, cricket chirped smartly. Mama, little owl whispered, tell me again how night ends. So let's find out from a night animal how the night ends. And here we see squirrel sleeping, but raccoon is up because it is nighttime in the night animals. And there is little owl, and this book is also by Viking. Little owl was having a wonderful night. Do you see little owl out fluttering around in the stars? And I think these flowers are called moonflowers. They open at night. He watched the furry possum family waddle along in a neat row. Remember we met the possum in the last book. They are nighttime animals, nocturnal animals. Nocturnal means they come out at night or awake at night. Hedgehog sniffed around the mushroom patch. Skunk was eating berries because he could find no snails. So 2 more nocturnal animals. We learned about skunk in the last book. Hedgehog is new. By the river, beavers gnawed at trees. Turtle hid in her shell as fireflies danced around. Ooh, I love that. The fireflies coming out. Wonderful picture. Little owl visited his friend, the raccoon. As they sat in the clover, fog rolled in and hovered just overhead. See, it's making the stars go away because it's a foggy night. That happens a lot, especially in summer. When it gets cooler. Moths fluttered down toward the moon. Silver dust fell from their wings. Little owl wanted to follow, but it was time to head home. Moths do come out at night as well, attracted to the lights that they see. On the way home, little owl flew by Grumbly Cave. Bear was inside, snoring up a storm. So I guess in this book, Bear is sleeping at night. Wake up, Bear. Don't sleep all night, little owl sang. I want to show you the moon. But the bear kept snoring as usual. Little owl flew home to his tree, gazing at the sky. He wondered if the bear had ever seen stars. Oh, I bet the bear sees stars. I bet he gets up sometimes to look at them. But right now he's got a lot of fish in his cave. He's happy. Little owl sat on his branch. How he loved the night forest. You can see so much at night. Even if there's clouds, you can see a lot more. Frog croaked softly. Cricket chirped smartly. Little owl heard rustling at the foot of his tree. Fox had come to say hello. I've seen foxes at night when I was out walking my dog. They do come out at night. And there's the bunny sleeping in his warren over here. It was late now. The bats were gliding home. Mama, little owl whispered, tell me again how the night ends. So you know it's late when the bats are going home to go to sleep because they are also nocturnal animals. The moon and the stars fade to ghosts, Mama said. Spider webs turn to silver threads. Dewdrops sparkle on leaves and grass like tiny stars come down. This is what happens when the sun is starting to come up and the moon is going away. That's what it looks like. Moonflowers close and morning glories open. Those purple flowers are morning glories. The sky brightens from black to blue, blue to red, red to gold. The rooster crows, the crows call, and the day begins, said Mama. But Little Owl did not hear her. See, there's the daytime animals coming up, getting up. Why did Little Owl not hear her? Oh, he was fast asleep. Look at him with his big, beautiful eyes closed, resting in the tree during the day, waiting for night to come again. And that is the end of that. And some of the other nocturnal animals are resting, but Squirrel is up over here. You can see Squirrel over here, up gathering nuts while Raccoon sleeps and gets ready for night. And that is the end of that story. I love that one. It was really sweet. Pictures were beautiful too. All right, so sometimes at the story time at the library, when we do stories about camping or nighttime or animals at night, we do the sleeping bag chant. And that's really fun. It kind of reminds you of any time you've ever gone camping or slept outside, you have a sleeping bag, right? Which is a long rectangle that you can get inside and keep warm. You pull it up and snuggle it up like this. And sometimes we use scarves for the sleeping bag, and sometimes we just pretend that we have a sleeping bag and that we're snuggled down deep inside, and then we do the sleeping bag chant. All right, you ready? It goes like this. I was lying in my sleeping bag, I couldn't go to sleep when the wind began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and these are the sounds that you hear at night. An owl. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. All right, let's do it again. I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the wind began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. Bats. Flap, 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 flap. Can you flap your wings like a bat? Flap, flap. And an owl. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. See, so we're going to add new sounds and keep them trying to remember, okay? Let's do it again. Here we go. I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the wind began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. Coyote, howl. Bats, flap, 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 flap. And an owl, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Good job. I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the wind began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. Mouse, squeak, 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 squeak. Coyote, howl. Bat, flap, 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 flap. Owl, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Did you remember all those? Good. Let's do some more. You ready? I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the wind began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. A cat, meow. Mouse, squeak, 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 squeak. Coyote, howl. What was next, do you remember? Bat, flap, 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 flap. An owl, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Let's do one more, you ready? I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the winds began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. A rabbit, sniff, 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 sniff. A cat, meow. A mouse, squeak, 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 squeak. A coyote, howl. A bat, flap, 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 flap. An owl, woo, 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 woo. How about we do one more? Let's do a fun one. We'll add one of our own. Okay, here we go. I was lying in my sleeping bag. I couldn't get to sleep when the winds began to howl and the bugs began to creep. So I rolled to the left and I rolled to the right, and I heard all the sounds that you hear at night. Oh, maybe your family fell asleep. What do you hear? That's a good one. I like that one. A little snoring, and then we wouldn't hear the animals anymore if we all fall asleep, right? All right. I have one more rhyme I'd like to teach you that I was reminded of when I saw this beautiful picture in here. Let me find it. Is it this one? This one. Those fireflies there. Fireflies are one of my favorite parts of summer. And so I want to teach you about fireflies. And it's called winking, blinking. Can you make your hands wink and blink like this? Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. See that little light? Now it's here. Now it's there. Now it's out of sight. Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. Fireflies at night. Good job. Let's do it one more time. Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. See that little light? Now it's here. Now it's there. Now it's out of sight. Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. Fireflies at night. Good job, everybody. Good job. Now, if you were going to be doing a craft with us, stick around. After this video is over, we're going to do the craft together. If not, I will see you next week. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy listening for animals at night, or maybe even seeing some of them. Bring your flashlight. Just stay away from any of them at night or anytime during the day too. You don't want to leave wild animals alone, but it's fun to look for them. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye. Okay, the craft that goes with this week's story time has two pieces of cardstock. With one has a cutout or a little triangle piece missing, and then has a flashlight on it, and the other has a wheel with animals on it. And it also came with this brass brad that we're going to use to hold it all together. You're going to need a pair of scissors, some colored pencils or crayons, and maybe a grown-up to help you if you have a little trouble. So first thing we're going to do is color. So if you remember in the book, the light coming from the flashlight was yellow. So I'm going to color this part yellow. And I don't remember what color the flashlight was, but I'm going to make mine green. And maybe I'll color the button on the flashlight blue. And now I'm going to color the animals the colors that they normally would be, because when you put the flashlight on them, you can see them pretty well. So I'm going to make my big... Take my scissors. I'm going to cut all the way around this black circle. Cut off the extra paper. I'm going to do the same on this one, except I'm going to cut out that little triangle part too. Okay, so as you can see, this is starting to line up here so that when I spin it, you'll see the animals under the light of the flashlight, right? So now I've got to get these two pieces to go together. So if you see right here, there's a little dot in the middle of the yellow on your flashlight. You can poke this brad right through it like that. Okay, and that part you might need a grown-up's help with. And then there's a little black circle in the middle of this white circle here, and I'm gonna poke it through that. And if it's easier for you, you can do it separately first. You can take that out and then do it with this one. Just poke a hole right there. You can also use a pen, pencil. Okay, so now I've poked it right through there. I'm gonna take it back out. And now I'm gonna put the flashlight part on top of the other circle. Put this brad back through that, back through the other one. So now that's on there, and then I'm going to turn it over and push those two flaps down like that. And now it spins, and it looks like a flashlight shining on to the animals, lighting them up into the night. So you have your nighttime animals. And that's the end of that craft. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next week. Happy reading.